Okay, everybody, welcome to Dividing Decimals. We're going to work on IXL exercises number 1 today, letter J, J.1, divide by powers of 10. So when we are thinking of powers of 10, it's all about place value, okay? So when you multiply by 10, you move over one place to the tens place, right? If you multiply by 100, then you're going to be in the hundreds place. This works the same way, but going the opposite direction. So when we're talking about 4, a whole number, divided by 10, a whole number, okay, it's going to move over a place value. So if we have a whole number of 4 in the ones place, then we're going to shift it over a place value to the tenths place. Okay, so it's going to be a number less than 1, and it's going to move over one place value because we have, well, it's just 10, right? 10 is one place value. Okay, the number of zeros there indicate how many place values. So we're going to move it over one place value, but it's going to get smaller. So it's going to be in the tenths place. Let's look at this also using the standard algorithm. Okay, so here I've got 4 divided by 10. So I wrote 4 divided by 10. Mr. Voigt, doesn't that mean how many groups of 4 go into 10? Yeah, but this is saying 4 divided by 10. This is saying how many groups of 10 go into 4. So be careful not to write it this way, okay? All right, so once you have it written, set up right, how many groups of 10 go into 4? That's what we're asking. How many groups of 10? But Mr. Voigt, 10 doesn't go into 4. That's correct. So what we have to do is we have to put our decimal place here, okay? And how many groups of 10 go into 4? 0, okay. So you multiply, you get 0, right? Then you subtract, so bring down the 4, and then you bring down. Since there's nothing there, we can just put a 0 there because there's a 0 there anyway, and bring that down. Okay, now we have 40. Okay, how many groups of 10 go into 40? 4 groups of 10 go into 40. 4 times 10 is 40. Subtract, and we're left with 0 as a remainder. So you notice how whole number 4, if you have a whole number of 4, the decimal place is here, right? If you're dividing this by 10, then what's happening is the decimal, well, you could think of it as the decimal moving over. I like to think of it as the ones place, then the tenths. So dividing by 10, the 4 is now in the tenths place, okay? So the 4 goes from the ones place, and it goes over to the tenths place, okay, because you're dividing by 10. But what's happening with the decimal, if you think of where the decimal is at, the decimal is actually scooting over to the left. Okay, so you have one number to the right of the decimal, it's the tenths place. Okay, 4 tenths is what we should get here. All right, so this is given to us. How many groups of 10 go into 8? Now, as we were just discussing, you can look at this, right, and just mental math know. Okay, 8 times 10 would be 80. That's in the tenths place, right? But this is saying how many groups of 10 go into 8. So 8 divided by 10, you're just going to go the opposite direction. It's going to get smaller. So what place value moves to the right in the tenths place? So it would be 8 tenths, right? 8 tenths. Okay. All right, let's try this again. So how many groups of 10 go into 5.6? Okay, so let's look at this here. So how many groups of 10 go into 5.6? So we're given a decimal. Now I know that 10 doesn't go into 5. All right, well, I'm going to move my decimal up. So that would be 0. Okay, 0 times 10 is 0. I bring the zeros down. Then you subtract. Okay, now, how many groups of 10 go into 56? Well, I know that's 5. Okay, so 5 groups of 10 go into 56. 5 times 10 is 50. Then we subtract. We have 6 left over. Now, I don't have another number here, and I do have a remainder. So we can keep going. All you have to do is assume there's always a 0 in a place value. Okay, so we have the tenths place where the 6 is at. Now in the hundredths place, even though a 0 isn't written, you can assume it's there. Okay, this is like a string of zeros. Hundredths place, thousandths place, 10,000ths place, 100,000ths place. It's all zeros. Okay, as many as you need to use. So if you don't have a 0 here, we just put it there. Okay, and so we multiplied. 5 times 10 is 50. We subtracted. Okay, we got 6. The last step is bring down. Okay, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So now we bring down. Now we've gone through the cycle, and now we start it over. So we're going to divide again. Divide, 60 divided by 10 is 6. Okay, 6 times 10 is 60. And then we subtract. Okay, so we have 0. Do we need to bring down? Well, we have no remainders. So this is actually 56 hundredths, and it doesn't divide any further. You notice also, if you have 5.6, right, divided by 10, all that means is it's going to get smaller by 1 place value, okay? It's going to get smaller by 1 place value. Now, if I moved it to the right, then I would have 56 whole. But that doesn't make sense because 56 whole is a much bigger number than 5.6 divided by 10. I know it has to be a number smaller than 5. Okay, so I know that I need to move 5.6 over 1 place value to make it smaller, which would be like this. Okay, so that gives you 0.56. You see, whenever you're multiplying by tens or dividing by tens, it's all about moving the decimal a place value either greater or smaller. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. 0.56 is our answer here. 0.56. All right, let's try another one. Woo! Getting big. So 2,586. So we've got 2,586 divided by 100. Okay, so this is asking, how many groups of 100 go into 2,586? Well, if we use the standard algorithm, it'll look like this. Okay, how many groups of 100 go into 2,586? So what you want to look at, if you have a number that's in the hundreds place, then when you're looking at your dividend, you also want to look at a number that is in the hundreds place, so 258. How many hundreds go into 258? Well, that would be 2. Notice how I'm putting the 2 here to represent that I'm dividing in the hundreds place, okay? Ones, tens, hundreds, okay? All right, now, this would be ones, tens, hundreds, but we're showing that we're dividing. 100 goes into 258 2 times. Okay, so 2 times 100 is 200. Then you subtract, you get 58 left over, and then bring down. Bring down the 6. So now we have 586. Okay, so how many groups of 100 go into 586? That would be 5. 5 times 100 is 500. Okay, you've got 86 now. And then we need to bring down. Oh, what do we need here? Do we need a decimal? Yes. So we have a whole number and a whole number here. Okay, so the decimal after 2,586 is right here, okay, to the right of the last number. Now, this decimal translates to just going right above, okay? And now you put a 0 in the tenths place, and now we can bring that 0 down. And we'll get 860. How many groups of 100 go into 860? That would be 8. Then we get 800. Sorry. Holding my phone and this paper is not doing what I need it to do. Okay. So we subtract, we'll get 60. I'm having trouble here. Okay. Come on. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. 60. And, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we just subtracted. We got 60. Did we bring down our... I think we need to... We said 8. Oh, okay, yeah. So now we've subtracted. We need to bring down another number. Okay, so we put a 0 in the hundredth place. 600. Yay, we're going to get a number that goes evenly. 100 into 600 goes 6 times. So now, notice how we have 25 whole and 86 hundredths. So if you look here at our original problem, 2,586 divided by 100, mental math, how do you know how to make this number smaller by just moving decimal places? Well, you're dealing with 2 place values here. Actually 3 place values, but if it's getting smaller, it'd be 2 place values. So you have tenths and hundredths, okay? It's 100, so it's going to be in the hundredths. So if your decimal point is here to start off with, and you're dividing by 100, your decimal point is here. You're dividing by 100. That means the number needs to get smaller because you're dividing. So in order to make this number smaller, we're going to go and move, see, 2 zeros, 1, 2. So we're going to move this over 2 places as well and get 25.86. Okay. 25.86. And there you have it, folks. Hope that was helpful. Enjoy the rest of this lesson. Bye.